Hello, my name's Tim, my company is Sports and Touring, and we are Jaguar F-Type and F-Type SVR specialists. It is always exciting to introduce you to another of these cars. The F-Type SVR, then, the vehicle which was developed from the 5 litre by Jaguar's secretive and highly expert Special Vehicle Operations Division. They took the 5 litre F-Type and created a supercar, a 200 mile per hour vehicle, which has certainly some aesthetic embellishments which make it look very, very special indeed and identify it as being that exotic thing. But also the technical refinements and enhancements take what is already a brilliant experience at the wheel of the V8 and make it into something almost otherworldly. Sit at the wheel of an F-Type SVR and you will be intoxicated by the experience. This particular one then, well, it looks sensational. It's in ultimate black, also known as Santorini black, with various little yellow embellishments around it, the brake calipers and the tips of that beautiful carbon wing on the back of the car, finished in yellow and looking very eye-catching and individual indeed. It is in exquisitely good condition. It's clearly been diligently looked after. It drives just superbly, and I am thrilled to show you around. There are black colours and there are black colours, and amongst those colours sits this gorgeous ultimate black, also known as Santorini black. It is a beautiful deep colour with a very subtle fleck in it. I hope you can see there that subtle fleck which catches the light and helps this colour so brilliantly to show off the shape and form of the F-Type. Let your eye run there from the headlight down the side of the car to those rear haunches, and I hope you will see how this colour plays so beautifully on this amazingly well-designed car. It's aerodynamic, of course. It's efficient in terms of the engineering of the design, but most importantly, the way the F-Type looks is very special indeed. There's a timeless quality to it. You don't look at the early F-Types and say, gosh, that's starting to look dated, do you? They still look every bit as fresh as they did when they first emerged on the road. And then the details around the car, well, we've got these yellow brake calipers, of course, front and rear. We've got there that splendidly executed yellow tip on the fin. That's a one-off. It's specially done for the last owner of this car, and it is a very effective visual device indeed. As we come round to the back of the car, of course, it plays with the rear number plate. It's the same colour as the rear number plate, and that makes for a very appealing touch of design. The SVR, of course, sits on the design pack here in black, those front and rear splitters and the side skirts. And this one is on the lightweight 5 twin-spoke SVR wheels, 20-inch wheels, and they are clad, of course, in the performance tyres. So 305 at the back, 265 at the front, for additional grip on the road. I hope you can see as well that the quality of the paintwork on this car is exquisite. It is very fine indeed. No unpleasant swirls, no marks to suggest that it's been through one of those appalling mechanical car washes. This car has been very carefully looked after indeed. And again, you'll see there we've got the black centre caps on the wheels. And I point out these little details because rather like getting dressed to go out for a posh dinner, you know, you put your dinner jacket and trousers on, and then you choose the shirt and the tie and the pocket handkerchief and all of those things, and they are what create the look. In the same way, it is these accents on an F-Type which so often make it as visually appealing as it is. And I love here the yellow SVR accent there on the badge. So outside it's in stunningly good order and looks very special indeed. And it's not going to disappoint in the cockpit either, because that is where we stop next. We'll supply the car, of course, with 2 remote key fobs and the owner's book pack, but there's no need to have the key fob in your hand because one of the extra cost options here is keyless entry and start. There is the little button on the door handle. Tap that. The door unlocks, the handle deploys, the power fold mirrors move out into the driving position as well. And I can just point out too the light built in under the door handle there, which shines down and illuminates any puddles next to the vehicle to help you get in without wet feet. Okay, we'll open the door there and take a look for the first time in this beautiful cockpit. And it really is a visual feast. Panning round, we'll start the detail with this door card. You can see, I hope, that it is absolutely perfect. No blemishes, no marks, nothing to catch the eye at all in any negative way. It's finished, this cockpit, in jet with red contrast stitching and with the lozenge, the perforated lozenge leather, and what a beautiful look that is. Meridian sound there, the badge tells us that, and we've also got 12-way memory seats in this F-Type. Panning round, there is the SVR tread plate, and then these beautiful performance seats, again in jet with red contrast stitch and with red seat belts, another extra cost option and very visually appealing too. The leather in stunningly good order. You can see we've got the SVR logo there embossed in the headrest. You might expect to see some wear on the side of the seat here and on the side of the base bolster there, but it is in fabulously good order. Okay, sitting down into the F-Type cockpit, and I'll close the door and I'll point out, as I always do, that this is a space of art and science in harmony. Beautiful design, very visually appealing. It's a lovely place to sit, but also it is a very technologically advanced cockpit and a cockpit with fabulous ergonomics. Everything makes real sense. Everything works as you expect it would. We'll start the detailed inspection here just behind us with the little stowage net there. And we can move forward to the stowage under the armrest there. You can see we've got a 12-volt socket, a slot for the micro SIM card if you want data on the move, and 2 USB sockets for charging your electronics. Forward of that, twin cup holders with a little recess in the middle that takes one of those miniature drink cans. And then to explore further, we will fire up the supercharged V8. So my finger on the start button, my foot on the brake pedal, and you will see the self-test flying display there on the instrument binnacle. The steering column has moved down into the driving position, and the centre air vent has risen up into the appropriate position smoothly and correctly. So down here then we've got the Eco Stop Start Defeat button. That prevents the engine from turning off at the traffic lights. A button for the spoiler. So the spoiler on the SVR operates at set speeds and in different modes, and you can also raise it and lower it using the button there, particularly for access for cleaning to its mechanism. Then we come to the traction control off button, which disables the traction control and makes this a very exciting machine indeed. Then we've got the switchable active sports exhaust button. Now this vehicle has the extra cost titanium exhaust, thousands of pounds, as a factory option, and it has those valves in which give you that throatier sound when you open them with the button there or by selecting dynamic driving mode. We'll come to the modes in just a moment. Then the electronic parking brake looks after itself. You don't need to release it when you move off. It is pretty much autonomous and disengages as you start to move. If you do a track day, by the way, there is a process. We've got a video on YouTube that explains how to park the car with the parking brake turned off and with the brake pads away from the discs in order to let cooling happen appropriately, which would be an important thing to do if you do go on the track. Up here then we've got the media on-off button and volume control, like so. And then this shift stick, it's a gorgeous thing. Falls perfectly into the hand. There's the button on the front which activates it and enables you to go into drive mode. Drive the main gearbox mode, and then we go sideways into sports gearbox mode. You can see the S illuminated there, and then we go forwards and backwards on the shift stick to change gear if you wish. You've always got, of course, these beautiful aluminium paddles on the steering column which enable you to shift gear while maintaining your hand position and your grip on the wheel and perfect control of the car. Okay, back over here, and to put it into park, just press the P button there, and that is taken care of. And then the driving modes switch. So 3 modes on the car. We have standard driving mode, forward into rain, ice and snow mode. Now this calms the car down very considerably, particularly for driving in icy and snowy conditions. And although this is all-wheel drive, of course, 4-wheel drive, and therefore the grip is much better than it would be if it were rear-wheel drive, in those conditions, this mode really does help. It's not ornamental the way it is in some manufacturers' cars. It is a genuine boon when you're driving in slippery conditions. Back into standard, or as I call it sometimes, vanilla mode, and then we go rearwards into tutti frutti, full-on dynamic driving mode. You can see there the message that says dynamic mode confirmed, and the backlighting has turned red on the instrument binnacle, indicating that now the engine map, the throttle map, the steering map, the suspension and the gearbox all set up for a sportier, more engaged driving style. Okay, back over here, and we will leave the car in dynamic mode just for a moment or two. We've then got the climate control section, auto, air conditioning, timed recirculation, which helps heating up and cooling down in extremes of temperature. Hazard warning light switch there is buried in the middle, and then you've got the screen heating front and rear, and the electric heating of the front windscreen. That is with those little wires that go through the glass and heat it up so amazingly effectively in cold weather and clear it very swiftly. Then we've got the temperature selectors for passenger and driver, and you can see we've got dual zone climate in this car, so passenger dials in there, driver dials in there, and you can also push those buttons to access the seat cooling and seat heating, so either cool or hot air directed through the seat to warm you or cool you when you're driving, and that is so effective at extremes of temperature. Up here to the infotainment unit, and I'm just going to close the blind above us to help the camera to see this clearly. So we're on the home page here. We can swipe to the right there to see My Home. This is the page where you populate your particular shortcuts, your convenient buttons for the favorite things that you use in the system, like telephone home, or set the satellite navigation up to drive you to work or whatever. Back to the main screen here, and we've got navigation first. At the moment we're not signed into the car, so we can just tap that and use it as an unregistered user. We can bring the map scale out, and you can see it's a beautifully clear display. Easy to program with your destination, easy to use. I get great feedback from people who do use the satellite navigation regularly. Back to the home screen and the media section here in the middle. We'll turn that down, and you can see at the moment we've got BBC Radio 2 through DAB radio, other sources that we have access to, FM and AM radio, and if we connected a Bluetooth device it would show up here as well. If we plugged a USB stick with some music on into the sockets in the centre armrest there, that would show up as well. Okay, back to the home screen, and then we've got phone, of course, and then we swipe across here to see that we've got access to climate, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, cameras and various other features as well. I'll mention CarPlay and Android. In the photographs of this car you will see the CarPlay screens. I don't have a phone connected to it at the moment, but it's fully functional. It's a great screen to use. It's the big 10.5-inch screen, and CarPlay really is a boon when you're on the move. For those of you not familiar with it, it represents your phone's apps on the car's screen. And lets you use Waze, for example, and it'll play your messages to you and that kind of thing. Okay, another swipe across, and here importantly we've got dynamic eye, so tap that button there and you can see we can select in this page My Setup or Factory Setup, and in My Setup you can change engine, gear shift, suspension and steering between dynamic and comfort modes to vary your driving style. And then over here we've got the stopwatch, G-meter if I tap it correctly, and then the pedal position indicator and graph. Very handy again if you're doing a track day in this fabulously capable car. Okay, back to the home screen again, and we will come back now and look at the steering wheel. two thumb pads here. We've got the left thumb pad with the infotainment controls and Bluetooth telephony button. On the right thumb pad, cruise controls and the heated steering wheel. Again, brilliant in the winter to have your hands warm while you're driving. It heats up very effectively and toasty warm once it's on. We'll switch that off, and on the left stalk here you can see we've got the automatic headlamps, and over on the right hand stalk we've got the rain sensitive wipers. Down here at the side, by the way, we've got the joystick to adjust the steering column position, like so, in and out and up and down. And then coming down here by my right knee, and it's very dark down here, but I hope you can see, we've got the boot release, lane keep assist button, rear fog light, and the dimmer for the instrument pack as well. And then down there on the floor, the stainless steel pedal pack in this car with the rubber inserts. Great grip on them, but they also look really good. And then finally, for this tour of the cockpit, up here above us, this enormous panoramic roof with the sunshade there, which I closed while we were looking at the screen. It's a huge acreage of glass. The light floods in when you wish it to, and of course if it gets a bit too much, just slide the shade across again. And all around this cockpit, the beautiful suede, the leather, the extended leather with that red contrast stitching in stunningly good order. There is nothing to catch the eye in terms of deficiencies here. It's all in just brilliant condition and testament to the previous drivers and passengers who've enjoyed this fabulous car. Okay, we'll switch the engine off and take a look next in the boot. Another of the extra cost options on this F-Type is the powered tailgate. Press the button either on the car or on the remote and it powers up into the open position like so. And by the way, you can set the open position to be lower than that if you need to. If you've got an obstruction in your garage, for example, and you need it to stop at a lower height, you can program it to do so and thus avoid crunching the beautiful carbon spoiler into something that it shouldn't meet. The boot itself then, Jaguar knew this had to be a practical car. It would be a daily driver for many people, and that is why they gave it over 300 litres of space. Yes, the shape of the space is slightly unusual, a little bit awkward. You can get around that either with soft-sided bags, or there are bespoke luggage sets available. We recommend a company called Bagworld, run by an amazing chap called Colin. He makes beautiful sets of bespoke luggage which fit the space and use the space very efficiently and effectively, but also they look great when you're carrying them up to the front door of the hotel. Okay, and under the carpet, under the floor here, we've also got this little cubby hole there, and you can see that everything in this F-Type boot, by the way, is in stunningly good order. No marks, no stains, it's not been abused in any way, and I can report no unpleasant odours either. It is in exceptionally fine condition, and we can close the boot again with the button there, perhaps on the tailgate itself, and it powers down like so, and then locks itself in the down position. And we can come around to the passenger side. We've got double unlocking rather on this car, so I need to unlock the passenger door separately like so. And again, we come in and see a door card in factory condition, I dare say. The tread plate, likewise, stunningly good, and the dashboard, footwell, carpet mat, centre console, and this gorgeous performance seat, all absolutely perfect. Right, our next stop is where the action happens there, under the bonnet. So the first thing you'll notice perhaps is that there's no cover on this engine. It is sitting naked, or the supercharger on top of it rather is sitting naked. That's because for cooling purposes, the SVRs don't have that cover. Instead, they have that little plate there which protects the bonnet immediately above from the effects of high temperature. And this engine then producing 575 PS, just a touch less than 575 horsepower. And through the ZF 8-speed gearbox, one of the most respected gearboxes, I dare say, in automotive engineering, that sends this car from 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds and on to that top speed of 200 miles per hour. And of course it is all-wheel drive, so the car begins by being a rear-wheel drive car, and then when power is needed at the front axle, either for pure straight-line acceleration or for agility and handling purposes, it is delivered there instantaneously. It is a very clever and quick all-wheel drive system. I hope you can see under the bonnet here that everything is crisp and correct as it should be. There's nothing to remark upon. Service history on this vehicle, main dealers right up until the most recent service, which was with a highly reputable independent, and we will of course service this car prior to handover to its next keeper. It is, by the way, driving perfectly and has passed all of our inspections without any hint of trouble. And it is waiting, therefore, to delight the next person lucky enough to have the keys in their pocket. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It has been a great pleasure to show you this beautiful F-Type SVR. With Sports and Touring, we're just outside Andover in Hampshire, open 7 days a week by appointment only. You're very welcome to telephone, email or WhatsApp us if you've got any questions, or if you'd like to see this car either in person or by video call. It'll be a pleasure to send you a link to the Google Drive. That's our online folder with higher resolution photographs which you can zoom in on, and PDF copies of important documents. If you've got a car to dispose of on your buying journey, we will give you frank and honest advice about the best way to achieve the maximum value with the minimum inconvenience. And if you'd like to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA, and we work with a really brilliant broker. Do please take a few moments to read our reviews in Auto Trader. I'm very proud indeed of the things that our previous customers say about us. And I'll close by saying thank you again. Feel free to like and subscribe to us here on YouTube, and we will look forward to hearing from you very soon. Contact details are coming next.